I've learned not to be afraid to really open yourself up to the possibility of something that scares you.
Today we're going to be talking about Aaliyah and how fear keeps you running from the things you truly want. And in honor of Aaliyah, I decided to do some Aaliyah post-pod hair. Leave a comment if you think I nailed it. Hi, my name is Chidima Obi-Sedenu. I am Nigerian and I have a sister named Uche. So you can imagine that I have been rooting for the Nigerians ever since I saw that there would be 3 Nigerians on the show. I was like, let's go Nigeria! And I even used to live and date in Houston, so I was particularly invested in this season of Love is Blind. But after watching episode 7 and watching the Nigerians shout at each other, oh my god, it was so cringe! Cringe! I was like, why are you people embarrassing us? Child, please now. I've seen that fight so many times in my life, but it is not for international television. It's not. Please. I'm not here to tell you that Uche is a catch. In fact, he's what I would call perfect on paper, but when it comes to reality, when I describe Uche as perfect on paper, let me explain what I meant. Perfect on papers are the people who check off on the list of things that you think you want in a person. So when I was in my 20s, what did I look like? It was tall, handsome, good education, good career, financially stable, Christian, wants kids, and Igbo. Those were the things on my list of who I thought I needed to be with. And Uche fits the bill. He is the kind of person, if let's say I was still single in Houston, he is somebody that I may have thought, I could go on a date with this person. The problem with perfect on papers is once you start actually getting to know them, you find something might be off, but you can't quite put your finger on what exactly it is. Now, thankfully, by my late 30s, I had evolved with common sense to actually start picking based on core values. And when you start doing that, you find that a lot of these things that you think are important are actually not required for a good, healthy relationship. The number 1 on my list became kind. Somebody who supports my dreams. Now, a couple still remain on the list. Things like financially stable, Christian, and wants kids. But as you can see, some of those things that may have been on the paper fall off eventually. If you're single out there, let me put you on some game. Find your partner and select based on core values. Everything else is noise. My husband ended up checking off on my core values, but was actually also perfect on paper. But I see all those extra things as cherry on top. Shout out to the man.
When was this?
2 years ago.
Oh boy, you're a recent cheater.
Uche was supremely judgmental. Hey, Jesus. That scene where she talked about the former cheating. Yes, you want to ask questions. Yes, you want to clarify, but Jesus, it was so uncomfortable. Even me just watching, I felt like I was being grilled. Man. And his past with Lydia, there's he said, there's she said, and we know the truth is somewhere in the middle. Shady. Personally, I think it was one of those situations where Lydia thought they were dating, they were in a relationship together, and Uche, he's a lawyer. He, in his mind, had clear moments where they were on and they were off and they were on and they were off, and he was probably involved with somebody or people in the times when they were off, while in Lydia's mind, they were in a relationship. So I think when Lydia says he cheated on me, I think she believes that because she felt they were in a relationship. And when Uche says he didn't and she spied on me, I believe he believes that because they were probably one of the off periods. So, there's his truth, her truth, and the truth. somewhere in the middle. But of course, these are my opinions. These are just my opinions, you know. Everyone has one. But that need to blow up what Lydia has going on, I think there is his perception that Lydia blew up he and Aaliyah's relationship and he wants to take revenge. I also believe, this is my speculation, that there might be some resentment that Lydia goes on to be a main character on this show when he's supposed to be the one she was trying to get back with. And I don't think it sat well with him that he doesn't get to have that lead couple role while she goes on to do it. So I think the motivation might have been twofold. One, I want to get back at her because she interfered with my relationship with Aaliyah, but also, why does she get to be a main character and I'm not? Notwithstanding all of that, we know that Aaliyah wanted to be with Uche. This is something she made clear in the pods, outside of the pods, after she fled and he called her, and when they met together at the restaurant.
He's so perfect for me. Like, I just love his nerdy ass.
How do you feel about me right now?
I still love you. I still want you. I would marry you. I would.
And yet, she fled, leaving no message, no number, no communication, nothing. And this is right after she and Uche talked and agreed that they would move forward and get engaged. Uche had asked her about her engagement ring. She seemed receptive, and then she runs. There's really only two good reasons, I think, why anybody would run in this kind of situation. One is, I don't want any part of this mess. It is too much. Throw the whole man away. I don't want any of this. Or the second, which is what I think actually happened. Aaliyah had doubts. Aaliyah was afraid that Uche and Lydia were playing games with her. She didn't trust Uche, even though he had assured her that he intended to be with her and that he wanted to be engaged with her. She was still making comments to Lydia saying, if he doesn't propose, you can have him. Which tells you that even though he had reassured her, she still feared that he was not genuine. She still feared that he would not choose her.
It's just, I feel like my fear is like, I'm just so scared. I don't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? Letting somebody in is really scary.
And on the other side with Lydia, because Lydia had all this information about how she and Uche were so close and even intimate as of 3 months till the pods, she, I think, was afraid that Uche and Lydia may end up together. And she didn't want to experience that hurt. So she ran because she was afraid. Not because she didn't want the man, but because she was afraid. And so what happens? By running, Uche sees her as a flighty person. 1 minute he's ready to propose, and now he doesn't see that in the cards. And then we see during the after pod date that he tells us of her deleting messages on Instagram, sending a message, deleting a message, sending a voicemail, deleting a voicemail, you know, all this fear-based behavior, and it ends up being a turnoff. We understand after the show that they did try to date and it didn't work out. So ultimately, Aaliyah fled a love that she truly wanted. By running, she sabotaged what could have been. And you know I ain't done if I'm not gonna tie this back to the water. Many of you love to vacation in places that are known for big, beautiful waters. You love to vacation in the Caribbean. You love the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, Mexico's west coasts, the Pacific Islands, or places with lakes. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And yet, you are still holding on to fear. You go on vacations, which should be the most restful and peaceful and enjoyable part of your year, and yet you're still holding on to fear. Fear of a moment when your loved one might say, hi, let's do that catamaran excursion. Or, hey, let's check out that snorkeling experience. Or swimming experience or scuba experience. You become tense. There's a knot that forms up in your shoulders anytime you're passing by water, you're in water on your vacation. Does that make sense? You've come for peace, you've come for relaxation, but you're afraid. You love the thing and yet you avoid it. This is not a way to live. You do not have to avoid the water. You do not have to run from the thing you love. You can learn to overcome your discomfort around deep water and enjoy it. You can actually go down and snorkel and see the beautiful things that Mother Nature has to offer in 70% of our world, which is water. Stop running, stop avoiding, and learn to overcome. Take care of that fear of deep water, learn to be in control of it, and come closer to the thing you love. We have a gentle step-by-step course that shows you how. Link in the description. I know you may not feel fearless now, but hang with me and we'll get there together.